Yes, people, Race for Europe is back. 12th man is back. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the show. We've got a lot to get through tonight, so let's get cracking. We have got LB, who is joining. Big up to everyone who's come over from LB's channel and doing a LB raid. Big up to absolutely every single one of you. And please make sure you do me a favor. Hit the like and the subscribe button. Don is going to be with us as well. He's literally running a little bit late, but he will be jumping on very soon. So please don't worry. There'll be some heated debates tonight, I'm sure. Joining me for the heated debates is, of course, Billy, is, of course, Deji, and we've got Errol and Dan, who we're going to start with, because Liverpool, Manchester United yesterday. I've got to say, I didn't see the game. I was out, but I did come back and watch it. One-way traffic, as far as I was concerned. Nothing surprises me with Manchester United. I actually don't believe anymore that I can banter Manchester United fans anymore. It's just laughable, if I'm honest. And I don't know, I don't know. Am I bored of laughing at them? Probably not bored of laughing at them, but it is kind of getting a bit like, meh, this is Man United. And this is why I have them finishing 7th or 8th again, because I just don't believe that change. I've seen anything change. The only reason Manchester United, in my opinion, and I'll come to you first, Dan, can do potentially something that I think they all want is if you get rid of this manager now. And I honestly believe we should have got rid of him before. I know there was nobody available, but I would have rather have just brought Van Nistelrooy in as the bloody manager and just got rid of Ten Hag, because I can't see any style of play in 3 seasons. I don't think he's good enough. Yes, some of the players have to hold it L, but they're his players and he's playing them still. I thought they were pretty awful yesterday. And I've got to say, Dan, and I'll come to you first, what really surprised me is Don, myself, a few others on here have looked at that Liverpool midfield and thought, meh, it's all right. Like McAllister a lot, by the way, but the others, meh, it's all right. I thought they destroyed the Man United midfield, and I thought the Man United midfield was one of the areas of the team that I thought actually it's still got at least something. Kobe Manu, Casemiro, obviously you've still got Mason Mount, Bruno Fernandes. I don't know what else to say, brother. It's looking pretty bleak, Dan. Anything you want to say, or is it just like, same old, man? You kind of seem dumb out here, man. Kind of seem tapped out, if you get me.
It's like I'm hearing comments about another cooking. Well, like I said yesterday to you guys, this is like reheating a meal that's 4 days old. There is no cooking. Manchester United can't be cooked anymore. I'd like to remind you all, last week, was it Z that put, come on, we're playing decent. Tell me what you think now, Z. Tell me what you think now. I'm seeing some United fans, not all United fans, some still saying, we've got to stick with him. Nah, we haven't. We really haven't. This is getting embarrassing now. I take the L. Look, that's the L. That's the L. It's there. It's on my forehead for saying that I didn't want Tuchel, didn't want Southgate, didn't want Potter. At this point, I could dig my nan up and she'd do a better job than this. I'm telling you, it's getting shocking. It's getting absolutely shocking. He comes out with stuff that I sit there and I think, do you actually hear what you're saying? You know, likening the job of Manchester United to Harry Potter. And I'm like, this is the Manchester United manager, okay? This is the Manchester United manager. I watched Arne Slot yesterday completely dismantle what we've done in the last 2 seasons in like 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Now, a lot of things can happen in 3 minutes, but I won't disgrace myself with one of them. But I genuinely sit there and I think, why is no one else seeing this? Okay, look, I get that people want him to be bullish, and I get that some people like the fact he comes out and he has a pop. But we looked the worst I've seen us in a long time. And I said to Errol before we went on stream, I'd be fuming if I was Liverpool, because that's not a 3-0 game. That is not a 3-0 game. That should have been 6, 7, 8, 9. I wouldn't have been surprised. This guy has got to go. And I'm hearing people and I'm seeing posts. Ruud van Nistelrooy, give it him. This will be another Ole Gunnar Solskjaer situation, 100%. 100%. You bring a player in that is going to appease the fans because he's a legend of the club, and that will buy the ownership time. And look, I'm not going for the owners just yet. I'm really not. But if they were unsure about this guy, like everybody else is, everybody can see it. Why'd you let him bring a whole new backroom staff in? Okay. It's like they've literally said, you've got time. You can do what you want. The money he's spent since he's been here has been absolutely hilarious. We've seen Arne Slot come in and in 3 games, albeit against 3 shit clubs, absolutely show a different style of play. Okay. This guy's had this team for too long now. They're players that he wants. He kicked up a fuss because McTominay went. We took too long to get Ugarte. And again, Manchester United fans are saying, wait till Ugarte's fit. Wait till he's fit. We're going to bollocks. It's bullshit. And I don't want to get angry anymore. Like I've been on this show and shouted and screamed for so long, but there's no point anymore. I'll say this to Manchester United fans out there. You're just going to have to ride with this one, because if they had anything about them, INEOS, they'd have met last night and they'd have said, right, he's got to go. International break, get rid of him. We'll bring someone else in. We have to do that. We're not going to do that. So I don't see us finishing top 7. I'm happy to say that. I'm happy to say that. And I'm happy to sit here completely calm as fuck about it. Oh, what was that? Oh, was that me? Calm as fuck about it and say 7th at a push, at an absolute push, because I don't see teams absolutely. I don't see teams like sticking in this chaos that I said at the start of the season. And if they do, even if they're in chaos, we are not going to be anywhere near them. Okay, and this is the epitome. I'll just finish on this. This clown is still coming out with, I got 2 trophies in 2 years. That's what I do. It's embarrassing. Guys, it's embarrassing. Have at it. Have at it.
Would have just sacked him after the FA Cup, man. Facts, this whole thing of like, oh, you can't sack him when he was a trophy. Yes, you can. Yes, you can sack him. It was the guy who won the Champions League for Chelsea, Di Matteo.
Yeah.
Sack him. They should have sacked him after he won the Champions League.
Rafa won the Europa League, gone out the door. Van Gaal won the FA Cup, dash out the door. Like, these are level managers as well, with pedigree. Rafa Benitez had already won a Champions League final with Liverpool, and he had got us to another final. Then he went and got Chelsea to a Europa League because Chelsea were on a little bit of a downward spiral, and Chelsea still did not consider that to be their level. So they went and got a better manager.
Yeah. But this is the thing, right? So this thing about United fans at the time saying, oh, you can't sack him because he's just won the FA Cup. Well done, because you've just wasted another season. Because now this season is now a complete write-off. Dan's can't be asked. We're on match day 3. He's already saying they're going to finish about 7th. So the season now is already done. Whereas if you would have done what I suggested, and I'm not even a United fan, I'm a City fan, so I'm glad you didn't take this advice. Sack him after the FA Cup, get a proper manager in, reset, and at least Dan can be sat there with some optimism. Now, he knows, because listen, we all know on this panel, Ten Hag's getting sacked this season, don't we? This guy is staying in the I guarantee you.
Should be gone now, though, LB. Should be gone now. Should be gone now.
It's a matter of when he goes, not if he goes. That's the thing.
Exactly. They can't do it yet, though, Potsy, because if they do it now, they're basically admitting that they made a mistake.
LB, that's the thing. That's the twisted thing as well. If my man had any real sense of pride about himself, he would have happily dipped after the FA Cup, because that to him at Man U was where his stock was at the highest.
I agree.
I've not had a very good league campaign. I've salvaged some silverware that is respectable amongst world football. Other teams will look at that and say he was either a really good cup manager or he was just in the wrong setup at Man U. So we'll roll the dice on him and we'll give him another opportunity. The fact that he was so, is it stubborn and arrogant?
He's an arrogant man.
To think that he could improve to the level which was required, because ultimately it's not a case of, for Man U, it's not a case of let's just push to get back into top 4. No, you need the level of ascendancy that Arsenal did. Was it your finish 7th before you went 2nd, Potts? Was it something?
No, they finished
5th. We were.
Yeah.
Oh, was it? All right. Well, all right. Fair enough then. From 5th to 2nd, though, it's still quite a stark improvement, because you went out to the Europa League, you went straight back into the Champions League places, and then you finished pretty, close to pushing City all the way. Fair play. Hats off to Mikel Arteta for that level of achievement and that level of improvement over the course of a season. But that's what Man United fans expect from Ten Hag. You guys can't just wallow in 5th and 6th and paper over the cracks as if to say this will be enough. It's not enough. You need to be. When was the last time you could say with chest and United that you challenged for a title? Like, we're actually in a serious conversation about it. I'm not talking about where you finished 2nd. I'm not talking about when you finished 2nd.
Yeah, I know, and I know what you're alluding to, and I agree. It was when we won it. That's the last time we've ever been in a challenge. I I 100% agree with that. We've not been the seasons we finished second. I remember when we had Ollie and we were top for like 3 weeks. United fans were going, "We're back, baby." I was like, "Fucking come on now. Don't be that."
Let me ask you this, Dan. Right? Why is there a section of your fan base that were like, INEOS come in, new structure, and they're like, third it is. Then it's like, hang on a minute, you can't change anything. What's going on here, man? Like, I don't get this.
It's media spin FC, Pots. That is Manchester United. It is media spin FC, and it's bullshit. Look, I said, look, I can't get cooked for this because I said it when they come in. I didn't expect us to finish third. I didn't expect us to get anywhere near that. I said as long as we were in or about the chat for Champions League, I would be happy. But we ain't in the chat for Europa League. We will be lucky if we get fucking Conference League at the moment.
Dan, what you also have to recognise, and I think INEOS have probably hamstrung themselves a little bit in terms of not making it very easy to just dispatch of this manager at this moment in time, is the squad that he's assembled in the 3 years now. You can't. You could argue that it is shit and it's below standard. But there was it Rashford, Bruno, and one other player yesterday that had been there before he started. All the other players.
Maguire was on the bench, maybe Maguire.
He was on the bench. Was it Delo? It was Delo who started at left back. Sorry. They're the 3 players that were there prior to Ten Hag. So everybody else in an 11-man squad are his players. Just stay with me on this, because not only has he now got the playing staff, he's got the backroom staff, and on top of that, INEOS were meant to be going in there to make Manchester United, for all intents and purposes, past the Glazers, a plug-and-play type model, as in, we give the instructions from the top, we'll have our technical director, we will set up the foundations of how we want to play. So all those sound bites to Man United fans' ears sounded like music to their ears. He probably thought, this is great, this is exactly what we've needed, this is more in the liking of Man City and Liverpool and now Arsenal, what they've got. It doesn't matter who the manager is, because the manager is just going to be a head coach that's going to be there to develop and get the best out of the tools at his disposal. But all of a sudden now, the words haven't lined up with the actions, because the actions have now made this manager given full free reign over everybody in there, down to the janitor and the grass cutter and everything. So all of a sudden now, you might go and get a Tuchel or a Southgate, and they might take one look at that squad and go, I don't like him. His face doesn't fit. I want my backroom staff. And then all of a sudden, you're ripping out the whole setup again to go again for what will seem like round 6, round 7. It is an absolute... And you know what? It's a disgrace at this point, because I said for the longest time, and I said this is in the middle of Klopp's reign at Liverpool, I am probably one of the only Liverpool fans that wants Man United to get back to, not their best, but get back to their competitive best. Why? Because the only time I've ever seen us and United go for a title was 08-09, and you peeped us to it, even though I genuinely felt at that time.
Come on, man. No, you
what are you waffling, bro? What are you talking about?
What do you mean?
I'm sorry. I wish the worst for Man United, Dan. I'm sorry, guys.
No. I'm sorry. No, because and I've said it on streams in the past. That was what I want, because I wanted to see. There's no point kicking a man when he's down and being like, yeah, I'm harder than him. I'll batter him. No.
What ball, bro?
I know it.
Don't do that.
I know it's football, but you've got it. From a Liverpool. This is from, again, as I say, I am one of the few Liverpool fans that held this opinion, but I will still stick with it. But Klopp
Errol, I hear what you're saying.
This is official rock. This is official rock bottom. This is official rock bottom. I now have a Liverpool fan.
Bro, I should be dunking.
Sorry, I can't.
But I should be dunking on Dan United right now. I should be sitting here, top of the. I don't know why me and LB are at the bottom of the panel. I should be sitting top of the panel, just giving it bigs to these, man, because I can't even do it no more. I can't even muster. There we go. Settings. Like, I can't even muster the right words or the chefery skills, man. I ain't even Salt Bay like that to be able to dispatch this man, because his team have been piss poor for the entire time I've knew Dan United. His team have been shit, and I like Dan. So it's that bar in 8 Mile where the guy's like, yo, I don't want to be the one you have to commit suicide to. Like, that is how I feel.
Yeah, what
about
happened to him, Errol?
Like,
Hey, what happened to him, mate? He ended up losing the fucking rap battle. Stop it
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
Stop it.
yeah.
It's 3 games in. It's 3. I feel like we're literally. I feel like we're a sentence away from fucking Quadfather coming back. That's what I feel like. We're heading towards it.
man. Deji and Don come in, man.
Errol just said, I don't want to kick a man whilst he's down. And you were very quick to just say, yeah, I agree. So why is it every time I'm on stream with you, bro, you love to kick my club down whilst we're in the dump?
Because you're a shit. There's a difference. I ain't got no affiliation to Chelsea. Chelsea are a nothing club, bro.
Deji, my club, right now is down, from where it was before, right? And you just said you don't want to kick a man whilst he's down. Why is it different for my club, bro?
Because
not you, Deji is the one.
No, I haven't said that I'm not kicking a man while it's down. All I said is that I agree with Errol. I miss Man United. I miss the good old days. On the weekend, I was pulling up, old vids of Beckham scoring in the halfway line and Ryan Giggs, doing that game, at Villa Park. I'm having to pull up old footage of Man United because the current one is so disappointing. And
there's no film to pull up from when you were fucking successful, mate. Don't come to me like that. Fucking hell.
I have to say that Errol is a better man than me, because when I tried to explain to you last week about your club, you tried to give it the biggie towards the end of the show. So let me just do this. Dan, unfortunately, you're involved. You're part of the problem. And let me explain why.
I'm coming back. Go on. I'll get comfortable.
When you took your bum for the FA Cup, that's when I knew you had lost the plot. Because for me, Man United is old heritage, like pedigree chum. Do you get what I'm saying? Champions League, Premier League. As soon as you start accepting anything below that, you are gone. And I said it. People kept trolling me, Dej. Why are you disrespecting the Carabao Cup? Why are you disrespecting the FA Cup? Because I said, if you focus on those trophies, you no longer become ambitious. Look at you. Your manager was shaking his bum, having taken 14 L's last season, and he said, that's what I do. I win trophies. And I asked you, Dan, last week, I said, do you see your club not taking, losing, I think I said to finish 4th, can you see your team taking about 7 or less L's? And I think you said, maybe, that Man United is going to hit double figures for L's this season. You've already lost 2 of your 3 games. Let that sink in.
You just had a battering from a man.
Errol.
Let me finish. It's very quick. From a man that rides a bicycle chatting about your smart car shit. Bro, you're still on a bicycle. Like, it's still.
How can I accept this, right? And Errol, this man here telling us that his club is finishing 3rd this season. They're on 4 fucking points. They drew against Jamie Vardy, who is ancient, and they lost to fucking Newcastle. And you're telling me, Deji, you're coming for my club when you're sat there with chest saying my club's finishing 3rd. Come on.
I will. When we get to the Spurs segment, I'm going to say it.
Well, it won't be a long one, will it? Because you lost.
When we get to the Spurs segment, I am shutting it down. I can tell you why.
Right. Can we
Dan, you can't speak with any chest. And the thing is, it wouldn't be so bad if you weren't so bad. Do you know? You said it yourself.
And we're still a point behind the 3rd place finishing Spurs of the season.
In response to what you said something. You said at the beginning.
This is bonkers.
Me and you, we are on the same. Me and you are on the same team. Because I said, in terms of my views about Liverpool and Arne Slot, I'm still standing by the view that Liverpool is yet to play a team of substance. They've not played anyone. They've played Ipswich, Brentford, and Manchester United. These teams are crap. Do you know what I'm saying? And you're probably the worst.
Do you think Newcastle are saying the same about your lot? They haven't played a decent team yet.
So Dan, look, I like you a lot. Don't get it twisted. As much as we're bantering and we're doing that, we're here to lift you up, mate. I want Man United back. I really want you back. It's not fun. And can I just say, this is the longest I've spent talking about Man United since the season started. What's that? I've given 8 minutes of my life talking about.
That's about the same amount of minutes that fucking Spurs gave effort on fucking Sunday, wasn't it, mate?
Bro,
Yikes!
you're
They were
hoping-
poor.
Can you imagine though? Let hear this last comment. Can you imagine a Man U fan in 2024 is hoping for 7th? What has the world?
When did I say I was hoping for 7th?
Well, where do you think you'll finish? You said you won't even finish 7th, yeah?
Yeah. So how am I? I'm
Well,
not hoping. I'd rather.
That means
How am I
if
hoping
you,
that?
if you were to finish 7th, you would be happy, no?
No, I wouldn't. Of course, I fucking
But-
wouldn't.
but
Who
you
would
don't
be happy
think-
with 7th?
But you don't think your team can finish 7th?
Yeah, no, it doesn't mean that's
Yes,
what
that's
I
the
hope it
thing.
is, though, does it?
That's the point.
What does-
In
what-
2024, Man United fans are hoping for 7th.
And in 2024, Spurs fans are still saying they're going to be up the fucking higher end of the table.
We're
See
in a
what we're
different-
doing here.
We're in a different league, my friend. But
Let
Dan,
me,
Fucking hell,
just-
Deji.
let me lastly, Errol, like real talk, 'cause I know you ain't got long, man. But
I love you, really, Deji. I love
the
you.
Arne,
Really.
Slot- the Arne Slot thing started well, bro. Right, real talk. And I actually do look at Liverpool and I think fair play. I don't really see like a different, like, wow, you can tell Klopp's gone. Do you know what I mean? Maybe Deji's got a point. He ain't played with amazing opposition, but at the same time, you brushed him aside pretty easily. Salah coming out with that comment though, I just kind of feel
I'm not running negatives on Liverpool today. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
I'm
a
not gonna run a
No, we
negative.
have to
I'm gonna
have
ask
this
you-
conversation, Errol.
No. We have to have this
We
conversation.
must have
I'm
the
not-
conversation,
listen,
bro.
Errol,
You, bro. You know what I'm saying?
You deserve credit for winning the game. I don't need to know how you won the game. I don't need to know tactics about how you won the game. I don't even know what Arne Slot did. We all saw it, right? We don't need to go into that. Man United were crap. Liverpool were good. They deserved to win. They battered them in midfield, right? But I need to know about the future of this Liverpool side because Salah comes out on camera and says, well, everyone knows it's my last year. You've brought a goalkeeper in that's gone back on loan that wants to be a number one. What does that mean for Alisson? And Trent's still not signed his deal. So as much as it's positives to talk about, what do you think Arne Slot has to do to keep those three at the club? Because I think you and Van Dijk, you need those four to remain at the club under Arne Slot, man. And the way you're playing, it's looking good, bro. Like, so there's got to be positive and negative, man.
I think the atmosphere around the club over the next between now and Christmas has got to remain at an optimum high. If it does that, and the lads are all feeling very confident and feeling very settled, and there's not a disruption, and there's not a major drop off, which has been predicted by certain sections of the media and other fan bases, I genuinely think it would be very remiss of the Liverpool ownership, the technical directors, the sporting directors, and all the rest, if they didn't put a contract in front of the players you just mentioned. Whether that will be enough to keep them is another thing altogether. But I do feel they'd be stupid not to, because they are the foundation. As I've said, a number of times, the spine that we have is still a world quality spine. You've got one of the best goalkeepers in the world. You've still got arguably one of the best centre backs in the world. You've got one of the most influential generational English talents in the middle of the team, local, homegrown, understands the agenda every single game. It doesn't have to be spelled out to him or translated. And then you've still got a freak in our own right. You could say Haaland is a freak because he is, and the numbers that he's put up in the short time he's been in the Premier League has been astronomical. But Salah in his own right is still a phenom. He's ridiculous what he's able to do. He's involved in every single goal yesterday. He's been pretty much nearly involved
So why
in
have
every.
you not offered him a contract though, bro?
Because, as I say, I don't know the ins and outs as to why to this point he's not been offered a contract. Again, I probably, if I had to hazard it,
can you admit it's poor? You're bored.
But I think it comes down to what the new and the direction that the new manager wants to take. How confident?
Come on. I understand that. These are top class players.
Yeah, and I get that. But at the same time, there's always going to come a point where he's going to want his own players in certain areas of the pitch. And that's not to say that, say, for example, there's a 21-year-old white ringer that's ripping up trees all season and looks like he's the next day. Liverpool want to be in a strong enough position to be able to be strong in that market, to be able to go and try and tempt them if the opportunity comes. Tying down Salah at his particular age with Arne Slot now coming in probably undermines his ability to be able to do that. So there's a lot of moving parts in this Liverpool squad, and that was one of the things I said. I wasn't really overly concerned about the incomings this summer as much as other Liverpool fans, because I felt that there was enough parts there that hadn't really lived up to the heights I set for them last season. So I want to see them at least reach those heights. But there are players there that have been there and done it all. And within those players that have been there and done it all, Arne Slot's got to think, will I still want to work with you in 2-3 years' time? And if his option and if his opinion is, I can still get your output from somewhere else or two other players or in a different style, he might not. But seeing what he's seeing in terms of on the balance of play at the minute, he would be stupid to not be speaking to the board saying, are you not going to tie this guy down? We're not going to give him another contract.
It's stupid. Like, you are not going to get the output that Salah gives you from anyone else. That's just a fact. This guy's a freak. You know what I mean? So why you're not getting him on a new contract? And by the way, even like you're talking about, oh, we need some other players in 2-3 years. There's more important things that you need to be worrying about in the squad than a Salah replacement. What's happening with Alisson? Is Trent potentially going? And what's going on with the DM position? Left wing, long-term solution there. Is Jota going to be a long-term striker? For me, Salah...
Left back as well, man. Left back as well.
Yeah, exactly. Left back. Salah's way down the lane. He's only going to be 33 in June. This guy could play for another 2-3 years, easy, and still be getting 20 goals a season in the Prem. I cannot believe your club has not even offered him a deal. It's ridiculous.
I think as well that it probably plays into the fact that it was extremely difficult to get him to commit last time round as well. And I think the club have left it to a point where, all right, yeah, in January he could talk to English teams as well, but I don't think he would entertain any of those offers realistically. And I think everybody just had it as a foregone conclusion that, you know what, he's going to end up in Saudi, but the whole Saudi allure over the last 12 months has dwindled. So maybe Salah might look at it and think, okay, I'm going to entertain a realistic offer. I'm not going to want astronomical figures. I'm settled. I'm comfortable. I like the team. I like the direction that we're continuing to go in. I will entertain it. Whereas last time, I think his head, not necessarily was turned, but I think he felt like, I can go and get better. But Real Madrid have locked off. PSG isn't better, even if the money is still there. The Saudi League is not what it, has painted itself out to be. America is like flogging a dead horse to these superstar players nowadays. Nobody wants to go and end off the career in the MLS. So in terms of where Salah can go next to really continue the prestige that he's set for himself since being at Liverpool, there are very few options out there, which may mean that it's easier to negotiate to tie him down. Because if it's not broke,
is it length as well, mate? Is it length as well that maybe the
yeah, and that's the thing. I think he might say I want guaranteed 2 years, and with the option of a 3. Liverpool might turn around and say, well, we're only going to give you a guaranteed 1 year with an option of a 2.
Well, we did that with Gundogan. It was a mistake. If he wants 2+1, give him it.
Give him it, yeah. And again, bro, there's very, very good arguments to say that. And I personally, if we rolled back the clock 4 months ago, end of the season, I was in the camp that, Salah, thank you, I love you, you're a legend, but if you don't feel like this is your long-term future now, next 2-3 years, you could go. I've done a complete 180 and I want to keep him now, and we need to make sure that becomes a priority for us. Likewise Trent, likewise Virgil van Dijk. I think Alisson's still got, he's got 2 years left after this season. So the Alisson one might be a case of, if there's value to be had, I could see Liverpool being a little bit snide to an extent of saying, we'll sell you because we've got somebody in for 30 odd mil. We'll sell you for 60 odd mil and, we'll recoup that money. That might be the play while there's still something on the contract, as opposed to letting them go for free. It just depends on the levels of this new goalkeeper that we've seen to have signed this season. In terms of what I've seen from Arne Slot so far, Lawless asked me the question in the group chat earlier, do I owe him an apology? I don't think I necessarily owe him an apology, but he has started the season and made it. I know you could say, we've played shit, but the fixtures are the fixtures. You can only beat what's in front of you, and he's handled his business. He's been on job, and I think that in itself is commendable. And I think most Liverpool fans will, again, getting that W over United, as much as it wasn't, we've made the games against United, even under Klopp, hard work. That wasn't a hard assignment yesterday. It was a bit of a clinic, if I'm being honest with you. Players that have been loaded in that Man United squad for, a good 8-9 months now were getting used as ragdolls yesterday. And the stark contrast in fortunes. Bear in mind, my man's been here 3 games. Ten Hag's been here 3 years. for him to debunk Ten Hag's philosophy, and not only just debunk it with words, but put out his team and say, yo, pattern them. Not long, get it done.
Bro, 2 weeks in a row, bro. 2 managers that have come. He got beaten by your guy, and he got beaten by
the Brighton guy
week before. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
2 weeks in a row, new managers have beaten a man that's been here for 3 years, bro. And then after, in the presser, he's laughing at the guy who's telling him what he's been doing. That's crazy, right? He's got to go. Like I said, start of the season for me, I wasn't looking at the players. I was looking more at the manager. And for me, I predicted it's gone by Christmas. I just don't see how Ten Hag turns things around. Like
he shouldn't be. But the one
to just become this whole new team and they've got a new system. It's not going to happen with this manager. It's just not going to happen.
The last thing I'll say about Liverpool, and you are going to have to forgive me for this to an extent. I am here in these moments now, week by week. There was a long season ahead, and there'll be a lot more difficult patches. There'll be a lot more bridges that we need to cross as a squad, as a fan base, before we can wrap our heads around what the end of the season looks like. But if I just skip to the end of the season now, while all of this good stuff's in front of me, it's not going to feel like a very fulfilling season as a Liverpool fan. I've got to soak in as much of what he's doing week by week to get a full measure of the new manager that we've got. So I'm not saying that you're drawing me into the conversation. You're right, it needs to be spoke on, but it's not something that I'm going to be worrying about as a Liverpool fan for the next 3 to 4 months. I will leave that, in January. That's when I'll start to panic, because from January onwards, it's open season. Anybody and everybody can start chatting. Like, it's like, you're on a break with your gal and she's just changed the Instagram photo and you're not in it no more. Everybody's flying into them DMs. It's those type of settings from January onwards. So that's when you need to be worried. But for the time being, it's true. But from this point, it is, isn't it? It's just, that's just the reality. Like, everybody knows what time it is when that status goes up or whatever it might be.
For me.
But for the time being, I just want to see the results. I want to see the performances, and I want to see more of the same. If we can continue in this vein, I think Liverpool are going to put themselves in the healthiest position to negotiate, because we want to be able to negotiate from a position of power. If you're going to turn around to someone and you're sitting at the top of the tree and saying, "Do you want to leave this?" the players might think differently. If you're battling and struggling already, it might make it a little bit easier for them to make those decisions that, my time here is done, if that makes sense.
Do you know what? That flips with United as well so much, because come January, if Ten Hag's still there, and if we are in the depths of where I think they'll be, if they want to go out there and sign players, that money,
money talk.
pay so much more money. So it flips both ways, mate. I completely agree with you.
No, come on, man. Listen, Errol, I know you got to shoot, my bro, but thank you so much, man.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure, man. I'll be tuning in, though. I'll be tuning in the background, don't you guys? Really, I'll be there. Big up everybody.
So balanced, man. I loved everything you said today, man. Big up to you, man.
Respect, boys. And I'll catch us up with you soon, all right? Take care, boys. Big up the chat. Make sure you're dropping likes as well. Everybody's doing their thing. Big up everybody. Safe.
Big up, man. Listen, I want to move to Deji, because this super chat has come in, man. So I'm going to bring Don and Deji in together, because Freddie wants to hear it, man. He's saying, Deji, don't let Don say anything to you. His team is so dusty, they drew at home to Palace. There's no way any other Big Six team draw at home to Palace. So let's bring Chelsea and Spurs in together, man, because I know Chelsea ain't held at L. They got the draw at the weekend, but Deji, you did, man. What happened, my bro?
Yo, bro, let me explain to you, because a lot of people have been getting excited.
Look at that.
Left, right, and centre. It's been X-rated stuff. Look, I told you last week that I'm going to look past Newcastle, because there's going to be domination in the location. Yeah, that's exactly what we did. We went to Newcastle. We quietened the crowd. Let's contextualize this. Last 2 seasons at St. James's Park, Spurs got bullied. We got played off the park physically, mentally, everything. Yeah. This time round, we slapped these brothers up. We slapped them. Newcastle couldn't do nothing. We outplayed them off the park.
You lost, bro.
I didn't see it. No, LB, let me get to it, though. Unfortunately, the system that Spurs play is quite intricate. We needed a number 9. We had Kulusevski, who played without a 9, bro. And We lost Van der Ven just before kickoff. But I saw enough in my club to know that the future is bright. The future is Tottenham Hotspur. We were sourcing. We did the domination in the location to Leicester. We did it to Everton, and we did it to Newcastle. So for me, it shows that
you won
it's
one
only
of
a
them.
matter of time.
You won against Everton.
The only thing missing is that we just need to take our chances, and that's coming, baby. That is coming. So I already know Tottenham's guaranteed top 4. Plenty teams coming for us. We will slap them. Arsenal, when it hasn't even looked this convincing. Arsenal have got 7 points, and they've been pretty dusty this season. Let's put our hand up. I would rather be where I am, definitely looking up, on the way up with the way that we play. Very different to United, where they're losing and they look crap. We are at least domination in the location. And we just know it's once our striker is back, we are there. The difference between us and Chelsea is with all those names, they were dusty. We were away to a Newcastle team. You can't compare Newcastle to Crystal Palace. That Crystal Palace team that doesn't have Elise. Are we all right in our heads?
Bro, I didn't lose.
Is rubbish.
Deji, are you pinning your hopes on a striker that's had one decent season in the Premier League? That's what you're pinning your hopes on.
Let me be real with you. The way that we're sourcing, we just needed anyone, even someone in the under-21s. But our under-21 striker was injured as well, Will Lancashire. So we had nobody to play in that number 9. Once you could have put Jackson there. If you put Jackson there, we would have scored 5, and he's dusty.
I don't know about that, bro.
You could have put Hoyland. You could have put Nketiah Kati in my club. You put Nketiah Kati in my team, he bags a brace against Newcastle. So for me, things are looking up. Yeah, I was right. I knew we were gonna pepper Newcastle. No one saw it coming. Dej, how you gonna do it? Bruno Guimaraes, Tonali's gonna do it. They did nothing. Gordon did nothing.
Let me guess.
They would. That is it. Once we start scoring, it's long for everyone.
Wait, Deji, who was telling you that about Newcastle? Was it Potts? This is the Newcastle lover up here, you know. It was him, innit?
Someone was telling me about Newcastle, but I knew they were dusty, bro. The domination and the location was too much.
Bro. They're
dusty. Billy, I owe you such an apology. Billy, I owe you such an apology. Billy, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for everything I said last season, Billy. I'm sorry, mate.
This is on record as well.
I'm sorry.
Let me just say this last thing. Let me say this last thing. When you have a striker that's going through a little bit of a lull, the one thing that we as fans look for is the player getting in the right position? Because even if he's not scoring goals and they're getting in the right position, we know as football fans and as people who played the game, it's only a matter of time until they start scoring. We know that, yeah? Ollie Watkins, we know he's going to start scoring. He's getting in the right position. He just hasn't scored yet. So as much as I call him dusty, he's not dusty. It's coming, yeah?
Dej, so are you basically not winning any games unless Solanke's in the team, then?
Bro, what? No, it could be Richarlison.
Genuine, that's a genuine question.
No, I'll be legitimately. It could be Solanke or Richarlison. Both were injured, bro. Both were injured, unfortunately. And
so you have no plan to see.
So all of Arsenal's hope, all of Spurs' hope this season is on Solanke and Richarlison.
Look, bro. For me, the progress is Arsenal have got 7 points. They haven't been convincing. I'm worried for Arsenal, bro, because it's a matter of time.
Worry about you, bro. Worry about you, bro. Yeah.
Worry about your
high line. Worry about your high line.
Because we've created after City, we've created the second most chances in the league. That's the level that we're operating at, my brother. So for me, it's a matter of time to turn these draws and L's into wins.
You beat Everton, Deji. You beat Everton, Deji.
How you feeling before the big one then coming up after the international break, bro? Are you feeling confident?
You see your journalistic skills? It's on 10 out of 10 right now. What a question. How am I feeling about Arsenal? Bro, if you look at how Arsenal played against Brighton, they couldn't hack the physical battle against Brighton. Let's not even talk about Newcastle. We bodied Newcastle on the weekend, yeah? If Arsenal come to my gaff looking like Roland Rat and Mickey Mouse, they're getting slapped. The only thing I'm hoping for, when I make these predictions, yeah, the only thing I can't do is tell you who's going to be available. I can tell you now, had Solanke and Van der Ven been available, it would have been 6s and 7s. I'm just hoping that Solanke's back and Van der Ven's back. Arsenal will get mullered, like Muller rice.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
If the next Premier League game, we've got Southampton, you've got Arsenal.
Yeah.
If we beat Southampton and you lose to Arsenal and we are above you on points, and you've told me how bad my club is, you've told me that we're dusty, that we're embarrassing. Are you willing to concede top 4 already? Because my brother, if you're behind United 4 games in, considering how shit we've been and what we've listened to from you, there's something wrong, mate. There's something wrong.
Let me tell you why. The mistake that you are making is the same mistake that a lot of the Spurs fans are making, which is you guys are still hung up on this. Tottenham always start well and then they fade off.
I haven't said that.
You know, my good friend Don showed me. He said, you know what? We started shit last year, but we finished strong. I think this is the season where Spurs finish strong. If you ask me, I would rather finish strong, I lied on, than start the season well and fade. So for me, you can call this what you want, but I've seen enough in my club to tell you we're guaranteed top 4. And I can't wait.
You know what amazes me though, Reggie? Do you know what amazes me though? Is that you've gone through all this waffle for the last 10 minutes about how Spurs are great and going to hack up Arsenal. But you haven't once mentioned your high line and Ange Postecoglou, and now he's getting done over and getting boxed.
You know why, Potts? You see, again, you tonight, 10 out of 10 for your journalistic skills. I love that question. Let me explain why I love that question.
What's happening
in all of the Dan, look, it's not my fault, mate.
Dan, it's going to be a long season,
you should be thanking
do you know how deluded you have to be to have band like this?
The reason why you're on the panel tonight, you should be thanking them years, mate, under Fergie, because you shouldn't even be on the show. Anyway,
what years we thanking for you being on the panel? One day, fucking Ramos. Fucking hell.
Pots, can I just say, Leicester had about 2 chances on goal against Spurs. Everton had no chances on goal against Spurs. Newcastle in the whole game had 3 chances against Spurs. The way that we are doing things right now is if we keep the concentration, we are limiting teams to less than 5 opportunities at my goal. Sooner or later, we are going to get it so right that teams are not going to have any opportunity. And then it's long. So I love the high line because if we keep look, 20 chances on goal yesterday at St. James's Park.
That's a little bit too, by the way.
It's coming through, man. It's coming through. So for me, Tottenham fans, we can be excited. Don't look at the points right now. It's only 4 points. It's calm. Look at what we're about to do.
You're beating us then, yeah? You're beating us then.
Yeah, come on, man. Deji,
and also because last season, Dan, you were telling me about the influence of Basmati rice. Basmati rice, Jasmine rice, Palau rice, Muller rice, whatever rice ain't going to be there in the North London derby, which means you're playing Jorginho and Partey. Don't make me laugh.
Damn.
What are you saying then, Dad? Come on, talk to me. How are you going to
beat
us?
We're slapping you in my gaff. Do you know what? Let me tell you this. If we don't beat you, I'm coming off stream.
Not a chance. Not a chance. No. You come and finish your plate, mate. You come and finish your dinner. No chance.
I'm coming off for a week. I don't give a damn. All right, you know what it is, Dan? You know, if I've seen your stuff over the weekend. Look at Dan's face when I asked this question. Have you been happy with Arsenal's performances this season? There you go. And that is the worry for you. If you turn up to my gaff playing like you've played these last 3 games, you're taking your first L from my club. Know that.
Well, Deji, you played well last year against them at your place and you got beat 3-0, didn't you? So 3-2. You need to 3-2. So you need to do something different in this game. You need against Arsenal.
We just need to do what we're doing. The reason why we lost is because we had Ben Davis at bloody left back up against Saka. What is Saka gonna do against Udogie, bro? Nothing, bro. He can't do jack. And also, LB, even though we lost that game 3-0, we were the one of 2 teams who had more ball possession against Arsenal in a league match. It was Spurs and Man City. Arsenal won't have the ball enough to do any damage, bro. That is orange ball. You don't have the ball enough. Newcastle were fortunate yesterday. That was it. And no one's gonna banter me about a lucky win because it was. Any Newcastle fan who watched the game and was at the stadium. You know what? They're blowing a sigh of relief. That's all. And if you're blowing a sigh of relief, that is danger. Whereas my club can only get better, mate.
Well, listen, let me bring these two in and then let me
I'm
bring
going to
Don
scratch this out.
Well-
I'm scratching this out. I'm changing it to Spurs, and we're going to have a look. We're going to have a look at this next game.
Let me bring
Where's
these
my
up.
pen?
Let me bring Don in, man. Shout it, Deji. Get back on your meds, fam. How? And then this one comes in for Don. I'll throw this to you, man. Deji, the new background looks sick. Big up, Freddie. Remember, only Potts and LB can talk to you. Villa are one-season merchants. Ten Hag is dusty, and Chelsea are dead. Apparently, Don. So come on, man.
It was in my comments giving me grief as well, man. Big him up. But bro, listen, it was a very easy game to analyze. You know, it's the same story as what I've spoken to with LB, with you Potts, with you Deji. You know what I'm trying to say? Dan and Billy, you're gonna hear the same thing this season, bro. We didn't take our chances. Simple as that. You know, in the first half, we were cruising, bro. Yeah, we controlled the game. Palace had nothing in front of goal, but it wasn't doing anything to our goal. The midfield was controlling the ball quite well. You know, was creating some good chances. Madueke had 2 clear-cut chances he should be burying. You had Palmer over chance as well. So I went into the second half and I literally tweeted. I said, bro, we need to score at least 10-15 minutes into the second half because Chelsea don't like 1-0 leads, bro. We don't like them, right? And we came out with this mentality of the game was done in the first half. And I'm like, bro, you're only 1 goal up. And my team keeps, my club, yeah, big up to Deji, my club, yeah, love to concede goals from moments. That is the problem with Chelsea at the moment, yeah? And it's the same pattern. In terms of the patterns I'm seeing attacking, I'm seeing the same pattern in terms of how we concede goals. It's either someone runs through our midfield, like what happened with Kovacic, and then we end up conceding a goal, or it drops to someone in the midfield and they just score a wonder goal. Every single time, bro. I've seen it a couple of times. And once again, Eze scored from nothing, bro. From absolutely nothing. Because I think Colwell and Fofana, they're starting to look better, Dan. You know, I was telling you, Potts, Fofana and Colwell just need to, you know, learn how to play together, and you will see them start to improve. They were one of our better players the other day, bro. For 90 minutes, they were very good. You know,
what was quickly done? What was the tactics about, man? Because I spoke to Dan earlier. I didn't see the game, I only saw the goals, right? Dan said that he was confused by he saw Gusto playing like way high. You see like confusion on where people were. Jackson missing chances again, shock. Like, I don't know. He was confused by the tactics. He didn't get. Caicedo was playing centre back most of the game. He said, like, what is all that about?
That's what I was going to get into. So, second half, the in-game management wasn't good, right? So, what he did was he took off Neto left wing and then he put Felix left wing. For me, that didn't work because he brought on Mudryk. It should have been like for like. And Mudryk, the guy that you hate, Potts, actually came on and did all right. He created a massive chance for Jackson. In the last few seconds, Jackson misses. Yeah. He took off, he brought on Nkunku, played Nkunku right wing. For me, I would have played Palmer on the right. I would have moved Palmer to the right, and played Nkunku down the middle, right? Obviously, we got an injury for Gusto. So what he did at that point, he played Caicedo as like a right back, and then he had Enzo as like a centre back. But at this point, he threw on all the attackers, bro, right? And Palace, they weren't pressing us at all. They were just sitting back. So for me, I wasn't mad at that. I wasn't mad at what he did because Palace weren't trying to come and attack us, bro. They were just sitting back the whole game. Pretty much.
Do you accept that you're not getting top 4 now that you didn't sign a striker?
No, I still think we'll get top 4, but in terms of challenging, it's a big stretch. We won't challenge.
I don't think you'll get top 4 now.
What challenge for what? Bro, I said for me, if we make the right signings and we can keep people fit, on paper, that team is capable of challenging, is what I said. And for me, without a striker,
challenging for what?
Yeah, for the league.
The league.
Yeah. Bro,
Billy, I'm going to say it again. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for
that.
last season.
Twice.
Oh,
You've no idea how deluded you have to be for Dan United to admit that once, let alone twice on the same stream.
Dan,
not yet though, Don. Not this season though. Surely there's more work to be done.
Yeah, but my expectation would have never been for them to challenge this season. What I'm saying is, on paper, if we brought in Osimhen, for example, yeah, we've got fucking Jadon Sancho, Neto, Felix, Nkunku, Palmer, right? All the attacking options that we've got. And like I said, with the defense improving over the season, bro, yeah, bro, we've got enough firepower to beat most teams in this league, bro.
Do you mean the Premier League or the Conference League?
You see, look, it's why I need to leave, bro, because this is what's happening now. I've got Man City fans sitting there as if they're at the top of the throne. Have your little moment, like I told you, LB.
Bro, I told you,
They've
yeah.
won 4 years in a fucking row.
This guy's so shameless, man. You
7
ain't winning
from
the
8.
league, Don, and you're not getting a top 4 because you didn't sign a striker, and that will cost you. That will cost you.
I still think we'll get top 4, LB, because we're not dependent on Jackson to score, to be our main goal scorer, bro. That's the thing. Like he's playing up top. He's playing up top, yes. But there's many others who should be chipping in, bro. That's the point.
But you need that reliable. You need that reliable goal scorer. City have it with Haaland.
I agree.
Liverpool have it with Salah. Arsenal actually have it at the moment with Havertz. Funny enough, you need Aston. Well, check Havertz's record since the halfway stage in the season last year. That guy's been firing goals in.
Jackson and Havertz are the same in front of goal, bro. They're very poor in front of goal.
No, I'm not saying he's perfect. I'm saying he's reliable in terms of if you actually look at his record since the halfway stage last season, he's consistently got goals.
And that's like someone. Jackson's consistent.
No, Jackson's not that guy, bro. Why didn't you just go and get Osimhen?
Hold on, LB. You can't have this energy for Havertz, right? And then try to dismiss Jackson when he scored 14 Premier League goals, in a worse team, bro. Right? And like I keep telling you guys, he has a good relationship with Palmer. Once again, Palmer created for Jackson. Yeah, Potts, I told you this last time. Yeah. Again, you saw that creativity between both of them, the chemistry between both of them. Jackson is not a good finisher, bro. He's not. Yeah, but he will put up numbers for us. He will. And for me, bro, getting top 4 isn't the same as competing, bro. We had Jackson last season who scored 14 goals and was 5 points behind Villa, bro. 5, right? It's possible. It's still possible.
Bro, I'm not even hating on you, but I'm just saying, like, for me, my stance on Chelsea has been so straightforward. If you would have got a good striker, you could get top 4. I think you're going to be on this show, which I said last week. You'll be on this show. You'll be on Midday Live every week saying, "Oh, we drew the game because we didn't put our chances away." You've already said it twice. We're on match day 3.
I know, bro. It's frustrating.
You said it against me when we played your match day 1. You said if we would have had a striker, it could have been different. You're saying it now. We played 3 matches and two of the games, which you're making an excuse for. You're saying it's because you didn't put the ball in the back of the net.
They used all their goals up against Wolves.
Bro, the thing is though, Billy, they will have games like that where they slap people, but they're not going to be consistent. And this is why I don't understand why your football club didn't just go and get Osimhen. He was right there, and that would have, for me, I think he would have got top 4.
Tony or Osimhen.
That's what I'm saying, Potts. He burnt us, bro, because he left it so late to the point where Tony ended up going to the club that wanted Osimhen. So now it was like Osimhen or nothing, bro. Because if we try to go get Duran, Billy's telling me 80 million, bro. Bring me 80 million, then you can have Duran, because it's literally last day of the window. We would have got finessed. You know what I'm trying to say? So, end of the day, it's annoying because we basically put all.
Play João Felix then. Play João Felix up top. He's surely better in front of goal than Jackson. Sure.
Nah,
I don't think he's a killer though either.
Nkunku not better. Didn't you tell me Nkunku's a better finisher than Jota? Why don't he play up front?
Nkunku is a better finisher, but I don't think he's a striker, bro. Not for me.
No, he's not.
Right?
It
doesn't stretch the pitch enough. It makes it very
Jackson though. Neither's Jackson. Man, he's not a striker.
He's a winger. Nkunku's a winger.
Jackson does stretch the pitch, bro. That's why I like him up there. The only problem with Jackson is his finishing is very inconsistent, bro. Very inconsistent. He makes the hard goals look easy and the easy ones look hard, bro. And the thing I was telling Rance earlier, is Jackson. It's the technique in his finishing, bro. He doesn't lock his foot, right? There's no conviction in his shooting. It's very loose. Do you get it? He'll shoot very similar to Havertz, bro. When Havertz shoots, you never really see that guy lace it, put his foot through it like Duran. When Duran smacks the ball, you better move out of the way. You know what I'm trying to say? Jackson, bro, every time he hits it back, it's like a back pass. And I'm like, bro, just put your foot through the ball. You're a professional footballer. You play football every day. Are you really telling me that you haven't got finishing practice every single day? Every single day. So why is it when you get to the scenario in the game, you're shooting as if it's a back pass, bro? It's so aggravating to watch, right?
I am with LB though. I think without a goalkeeper and a striker, I don't think you're getting top 4, man. I don't rate your goalkeeper or your striker, man. That's where I'm at, man.
Sanchez, but there's no guarantee that Sanchez will stay in goal, bro. As long as
who's this other? I don't even know who this keeper is though. Don Jorgensen.
You learn about Jorgensen. Jorgensen's decent. I like it. You learn about it.
I'll learn about him. All right, cool. Listen, before I bring Billy and Deji in, let me just say, Dej, do you still stand by this?
I'm going to make a statement on this channel. If Chelsea are not top 10 come Christmas, please, can we remove Don and can we get a new brother in, please? Can we remove him? If they're not top 10, can we get a new brother in? Bro, I mean, look, you know, I love Don. And like I said to you, I do sometimes think, because I do see some of the comments in the chat and they're just delusional, and I no Don, no disrespect, if I come across like you, my man will have to remove himself from YouTube. You know what I'm saying? But the truth is, I don't rate this Chelsea team. They're dusty. For me, that Wolves team that don't eat meat was not a barometer of how good Maresca is. You drew at home to Crystal Palace. I'm not expecting much from Chelsea. You know, we're here talking about a striker, Don. We've been telling you, just like United, I've been trying to help Chelsea fans, but Chelsea fans don't see in between the lines. The only thing I can say, beginning of the season, I wasn't sure who was more dusty between you and Man United.
You're crazy.
I can tell you who is the dustiest. Dan, I'm not looking at you at the moment. I can tell you.
No. This is what I'm saying. You're not going to do this.
I can tell you this, though.
Go on.
Your team is not good, bro. Your manager's not good.
You lost.
Get what I'm saying? I think
a few stats,
Crystal Palace showed us that you men are not about that life. And I'm sorry, I still stand by it, bro. Spurs will finish comfortably ahead of Chelsea this season.
Listen, let me just show you how. Let me just show you that it was a game of poor finishing, bro. Yeah, we had 63% possession. They had 37%. Right?
Yeah.
We had 2.37 xG. They had 0.54, bro. We had 5 big chances. They had 0, bro. The moment of brilliance again from Eze. Right? Last time it was Olise at the bridge that scored. We should have won that game by at least 3 goals, bro. I predicted 3-1, and we created the chances. It was the finishing. Last week we finished good. Yesterday it was shit. It was simple as that.
The difference between you and me though is we've got players to come back who will do that. So we could see that Kulusevski is not the guy playing the false number 9 on the weekend. So we know, we're quite confident when Solanke comes back, or even Richarlison, that they will bang in that circumstance. What we're not sure of is who is going to bang for you.
Dan's done.
Who's going to bang for you?
Oh, I can't believe what I'm listening to.
That's what I want to know.
I don't know what's worse. Fucking Don saying that he thought they were going to challenge, or Deji saying Solanke and fucking Richarlison are going to fire him up the table.
We're not doing that. I never said we're going to challenge, bro. I said my expectation is top 4, right, to win the Conference League and win all the domestic, compete for all the domestic trophies that we're in. What I did say, bro, is on paper. Listen to what I'm saying, Dan. On paper, if we brought in Osimhen with the team that we've got, that team is capable of challenging.
It is.
Right?
It is.
That team is capable, in my opinion. But we didn't bring Osimhen, so challenging is a big stretch. If we go and challenge here with the team that we've got with no striker, I'll be very surprised, bro. I'll be very surprised, bro.
No, but you know what it is? What I like about what you just said is it's how I see Chelsea. I think definitely Europa Conference League, I mean, you guys should be winning that. And if you do it, we need to celebrate Chelsea for that, because that's a very difficult competition to win. You guys competing in the FA Cup, Carabao Cup is respectable. I mean, if you get semi-final, we can't turn our nose up at that. We can't be disappointed. And, you know, you guys are going to do your best to get top 4. That sounds about right. I'm just saying. But
listen, we've already got.
I just know, Don. You know, I just know you didn't bring in Osimhen, unfortunately, and we know that. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. We know he's not really that person. Do you get what I'm saying? He's not that guy.
He starts for you. He starts for you.
He doesn't.
He starts for you on the left. He will start for you on the left. Yeah, he would.
He doesn't.
He
would have started against Newcastle though, because we had no one else. I give you that. So for me, I think it's fair to say United's done out here, and that's Man United, not Newcastle United. And I think Chelsea do well to finish 5th this season.
Yeah, so where are you finishing, Deji?
I'm 100 quid richer.
Deji, where are you finishing? Where are you finishing, Deji? Sorry.
I've got Spurs to finish 3rd or 4th.
No, that's fine. That's all I need to hear.
Guaranteed. Yeah. You wish you could be like me, Dan.
What, a point behind you in the league? Yeah, I'm fucking devastated.
Hey, Dom, would you have taken Solanke at Chelsea, bro? Would you have taken Solanke?
In a heartbeat, bro. In a heartbeat. Respect. That's my boy. That's my guy. You know what I mean? I would have taken him. I just need LB. I just need someone who's competent in front of goal. I'm not even.
This is a thing for me, because like, why is your football club sort of just ignored that striker position when you could have got Tony for what?
They haven't ignored it, bro. That's what I'm saying. We put our eggs in the Osimhen basket, right? And it flopped. because obviously with Osimhen, he would have thought that he would have had so many options, so many teams queuing up for him. He only had us and Saudi that were really interested in him, right? Even when Saudi came in with what 20 million a season, he put them on hold, bro. He said, "Yo, I'm gonna call you lot back, Chelsea. I'm gonna see what they come back with." I've seen today. There's a new report now. Apparently, we offered him 150k a week. He said no. He said no, bro. But now he's gone to Galatasaray and accepted a loan move that his agent was saying he's not going to take. Because initially we said we'll take you on loan, we'll pay your wages. He said no. I want permanent only. Right? That's where I've got to think, bro. How much did you actually want to come to Chelsea? Right? I know these footballers have mad expenses and they're going to be paying all these things. But end of the day, bro, he's a multi-millionaire, bro. Firm it for one season, LB, and your money will go back up. Just like Cole Palmer. What it is with Osimhen, he wanted guaranteed money and not have to work for it, right? Yeah. For me, like, that's a red flag. Because we had too many players with Roman, where Roman was just giving them 200k a week, 250 a week, just because we're Chelsea, and they haven't earned that money, right? Osimhen had to earn the money. He hasn't done anything crazy in football for us to be bending over backwards. If this was Haaland,
I respect that stance.
Hold on, Digi, yeah? If this was Haaland, LB available in the market, I'm saying throw whatever you can at this guy, bro. Osimhen, bro, he's not world class. 150k a week, and then to go back up after year one when you prove yourself is more than reasonable for me. More than reasonable. Felix took a massive pay cut. Sancho took a massive pay cut. I know their careers are a little bit different.
Yeah, they're different, bro.
I know they've got things to prove, but what I'm saying is, if he really wanted to be at Chelsea, sorry, he would have been flexible in his approach. He wasn't.
Yeah, but but I got a problem with that though, because in that situation, right, then Sancho and Felix, right, they're almost grateful that you've come in because they need to get their career back on track. With Osimhen, you need a striker. You're the one that's going to him saying, "We need you to lead our line."
Yeah, but LB, he could have come to Chelsea. He's now ended up at Galatasaray. That deal that Galatasaray are doing, they said no when we wanted to do that same deal.
But that doesn't help you, does it?
No, it doesn't help me, but it doesn't help him either, bro. He would have.
But you're not supporting Osimhen. The fact is, if you really wanted him, why didn't you just say to him, "This is we're going to give you the cash because we really want you"? That's what teams do when they want a player,
bro. Of course, but listen, again, the wage structure has gone down. It's gone down, but as we've seen already with Palmer was on 80k a week when he first came. His money went up after that first season, bro. He got rewarded. Same thing as Jackson. His money.
Palmer's not the same as Osimhen, bro.
Bro, yeah, but bro, you're okay. I get what you're saying, bro. Yeah, in terms of he's a striker, should be getting paid more money. I agree with that. But what I'm saying is, he was on what I think 250 a week or something like that. We're not gonna pay that right now, bro. Unfortunately, we're not gonna pay that for Isak, for example. I reckon we pay whatever for this guy. Yeah, Haaland, I think we pay whatever. Osimhen, bro, listen, he's still got things to do in football, man. I can't lie. I don't look at him and think he's world class.
Let me ask you this, Don, right? Because I was going to move, but I can't. I've got these two comments I've got to fucking ask you about now. This one comes in big up, says, Deji, talk about the Argentinian Lee Catamo, Enzo, right? Then I've got this, and I don't know if this is true, Don. I have no idea if this is true. Dan Potts, please don't let Don go without you asking him what he said earlier at FT. Enzo, Caicedo, and Lavia are better than Rice, Partey, and Marino.
Bro, what I said on the terrace is for Arsenal, Lavia and Caicedo would be better for them than fucking Partey and Declan Rice is what I said, bro. These lot are forgetting that in January they tried to buy Caicedo. Caicedo on that 8 role is better than Declan Rice on the ball. Every time you speak to guys about Declan Rice, they tell you what he does off the ball. How about you fucking create for me? How about you score from outside the box for me? How about you do a little combination over there?
Like Caicedo's doing.
Oh, does Caicedo do that?
Bro, Caicedo's creative, you know. Caicedo's very underrated outside, like in the final third. Bro, he plays some very good passes in between the lines, bro. And he's more progressive. Yeah. And he's got a higher ceiling than Rice. Right? And then Lavia, have I even got to say much? Potts loves it. He started him over Partey.
I do like Lavia, but he's got to stay fit. If Partey can't stay fit and Lavia can't stay fit, it's like Partey's done it in the game. Lavia's still learning, but I like Lavia.
But you'd rather take the gamble on Lavia because he's still young in comparison.
No, listen, I'd take Lavia because of his ceiling. Yeah, I think his ceiling's high. I rate him, but I don't know. Rice, I love Rice, man.
Rice ain't an 8. I keep saying this.
I agree. I'd prefer him in the 6, but I think he's ridiculously good in the 6.
Yeah, but okay. Let me ask you then. Is Rice a better 6 than Lavia?
Yes.
Yeah.
You think he's more progressive than Lavia?
Yeah, right. Declan Rice is better than Lavia in the 6. Yeah, Lavia's a quality player.
Lavia.
Do I think he's better than Lavia?
Can you pass a ball forward? I think he can pass a ball forward just as good as Lavia. I don't think there's a major issue with that.
What? Bro, one of Lavia's main strengths is the way he plays it in between the lines, bro. Rice can't play the ball in between the lines like Lavia.
Do you think Lavia's a better player than Declan Rice now?
Bro, I think, yeah, in terms of the technical ability, yes, I do.
Bro.
Lavia is a gangster player.
Do you know how
he's not better than Rice, boys?
Lavia, do you know how press resistant Lavia is, bro? Lavia is very hard to take the ball from him.
Lavia's a good player, man, but he can't be coming out here saying he's better than Declan Rice.
Bro, for me, I'll rather take Lavia from a team than Declan Rice. He's more technical than Declan Rice, bro. It's night and
that's why Chelsea are where they are.
It's night and day between both of them, bro. What are we doing here, people? See what you are telling me that Rice is better than.
It's not just about that, though, is it, dog? But you're looking at the pros of Lavia and going, well, he's better at doing this, so I'd rather take him.
Yeah,
but as an overall six, would you not rather have Rice than Lavia? Overall,
Lavia over Rice, bro. I'd rather have Lavia over Rice because I know.
Would anyone else on the panel rather have Lavia than Rice? One last question. So you've established that. What about in the 8? Would you rather have Caicedo? No. That's answer the question. So in the 8, would you rather have Caicedo or Rice?
Caicedo. So
basically, you just wouldn't take Rice. Even Caicedo, Lavia, in either position, you ain't taking him.
No, bro. Listen. We watched this guy for England against Spain. Yeah, the tech was too much, people. The tech was too much. When it was time
Lavia played against Spain like that. What are we doing here? This guy's played for Southampton, bro.
Don't be shameless because when Lavia, I
love Lavia. You know I like Lavia, but he's not better than Rice, Don.
Bro, when Lavia last came to the Emirates, yeah, no one could get near him. Odegaard presses like a machine, and he couldn't get nowhere near him because how press resistant Lavia is, bro. Yeah, for me in that first phase, I need my guy to be very comfortable on the ball, and I need him to be able to progress the ball. If I'm bringing in a Declan Rice, I'll have to put him in a pivot. Yeah, next to someone else who can progress the ball. Lavia and Rice can play in the same team. Rice can be next to him as the destroyer, and Lavia can be the one as the progressor. But in the formation that I want to play, bro, what I want to do, I am not playing Rice, bro. I want to build a technical team. He has not got the tech for it. I'm sorry. He ain't got the tech. He's got the legs. Yes. He's got the heart. Yes. He can destroy play. Yes. But on the ball, bro, Lavia's better than him. And Caicedo's better than him on the ball. I'll be real.
Well, you should be smashing everybody in midfield then. Why is midfield getting dominated every weekend then? I don't get it.
If you had a midfield of Caicedo, Lavia, and Odegaard, that would be fucking brutal, blood. That would be a serious midfield.
He does have a point.
That's a serious midfield. Lavia, Caicedo, and Odegaard. Yo, that's serious. And let's not act as if Arsenal did try to buy Caicedo because they did. They tried to buy him before Rice.
Yeah, listen. You make out like you're making out like I think Lavia is awful and Caicedo's a donkey. I think both of them are quality, but Declan Rice has. Have you not seen what he's done? Like, let's be real. What he was doing at West Ham was mad. It's just we didn't want to get too hyped about it because West Ham fans get excited, right?
Bro, let's just be real. The centre-back pots. You can't tell me about Rice. You know what I'm saying?
No. I'm not saying to you. I'm not saying you've said he's bad when he was at West Ham. What I'm saying is we weren't doing enough when he was at West Ham. He was a quality player. Everyone could see he was quality, and he's come to Arsenal, and I think he's been ridiculously good. 105 million, and no one's talking about his price tag. He's been class. On the other hand, Lavia can't stay fit, and Caicedo has been pretty poor for Chelsea for £115 million. And we're not even spoken on Enzo, who we were asking about. So for me, I personally can't. I mean, listen, I'm going to be biased. Don's going to be biased. Let the panel decide, man. Who's better, Lavia or Rice?
Be biased, bro. I'll be saying, bro, if Rice played for Chelsea and Lavia played for Arsenal and Caicedo played for Arsenal, I'll be saying the exact same thing, bro. Before these guys even joined, before Rice went to Arsenal and Caicedo came to Chelsea, I was saying I'd rather we go for Caicedo because that's the profile that I need in my team, right? And Caicedo, like I keep telling you, Caicedo is actually an 8. He's not a 6. His natural position is box to box, and he's very underrated in the final third, bro. Very underrated, bro. I'm glad you didn't get Caicedo because if you got Caicedo, you probably win the league. I'll be real, you probably win the league with him, bro.
I mean, listen, I think Rice is ridiculous. I would rather have him over Lavia, but. Billy, Dan, LB, are we taking?
Yeah, I mean, Don's waffling.
Potts loves Lavia. He's just trying to back his boy.
They are good players. They are good players, but they're not better than Declan Rice.
It depends how you want to play the game.
If you're talking about a partnership, partnership, Bouba Kamara and Douglas Luiz last season are better than Lavia and Caicedo.
Bro, we've barely seen Lavia and Caicedo to really judge them. They were good against Man City. when they played together as a pivot. They stifled them pretty much all game in the midfield.
Why
Alright,
haven't we
but-
seen
but-
Lavia, Don? How long have you had him for?
Bro, Lavia got injured last year because Poch, the donut, got told he's not ready to play. He played him and he picked up another injury. Right, this time round,
Is there not a concern about his fitness, though, Don? We'll take away the Rice argument. I get what you're saying, but is there not a concern about this guy's fitness?
of course there is. Of course there is. I don't know if he's going to be back after the international break because he's injured already. Apparently, it's just a little knock. You know, we'll see, innit? We'll see what happens after. But Lavia's a top player, and before he joined Chelsea, he played the most minutes for any under 20 in the league. Right, so I don't know. Maybe it's just a Chelsea problem. We'll see.
Well,
Don, you're
Declan
hyping
Rice,
these boys
I mean,
up too much. You're
How am I-
hyping them
how
up
am I
too
hyping him
much.
up? How am I hyping him up because I've got a preference? That's not hyping up, bro.
Yeah, you are though.
You've got a preference, Billy. You might look at a girl, say, actually, I don't like blonde girls. I like brunettes. I like technical players, bro. I don't like guys like Rice where it takes about
What do
4
you like,
seconds.
Don? What do you like, blondes or brunettes?
I'm international, man. I can't lie to
Listen, man, that's a good
That's
way.
why he
That's a
doesn't like
good
Declan
segue, man.
Rice.
That's a good thing. That's a good way to leave it, man. Let's go. Since we're talking about Rice, I mean, I haven't got much else to say on it. I've been speaking about it all weekend, losing my head about it. Personally, in a nutshell, I don't think we've done anywhere near enough this window to compete and win the league. Actually, I think we compete. I don't think we'll win the league. But that incident was not the reason why Arsenal drew the game, in my opinion. I've been told that I'm deluded for saying that and negative for saying it. The referee was a joke and it's a disgrace. I can get behind the referee had a bad game and the lack of consistency is poor, and that Pedro should have got a yellow card as well for booting the ball away, and that 5 or 6 players this weekend have threw the ball, tapped the ball, kicked the ball and not got yellow cards, but Rice brushed across it when it was passed into his path and he flicked it and he got a yellow card. I can talk about that. But for me, missing our chances, I'm going to sound like Don now, was the reason that we actually didn't win the game as well. Because Kai Havertz, brilliant goal, but then he does everything technically right for that chance, but fluffed his lines. Saka, poor. Sorry, man. Both them chances he needs to do better. I know we were stretching for the second one, but I think you need to bury that. And also, I'm actually getting quite annoyed, and I love him, but Martin Ødegaard in front of goal in the last couple of weeks has let me down. He's tapping the ball to the keeper and he blasts it over from 6 yards from against Aston Villa. When you do that, you ain't going to win a game of football, people, yeah? We've just been taking the mick out of Don for it. I can't talk. My team are doing it as well. We're fluffing our lines. But my fan base are telling me that I'm negative because we don't need a striker, Potts, because we scored 91 goals last season. Well, I've seen us miss chances in the last 3 games, to be fair, to bury teams, and we haven't done it. So against Brighton, we missed our chances. Brighton are a good team, by the way. I'm not going to sit there and say that actually, you know, Brighton were a shambles and Arsenal should be beating them comfortably, because no game's easy in this Premier League. But for me, I thought we were comfortable until the red card, but we should have been 2 or 3-0 up at that point, and we should have then been able to see the game out from a winning position comfortably. And because it was only 1-0, we weren't able to do that. So I don't know what your thoughts are on the red card situation. I'd love anyone to come in on that and see, because there's a lot of Arsenal fans crying, man. There's a lot of people crying about this
because they
referee.
don't take responsibility, man. At the end of the day, yeah, I watched that game. You should have been 3-0 up, 4-0 up by the time he got to half time. So cook your own players for the finishing. And then even once he got sent off, Havertz still went through, and had a chance to make it 2-1. So, you know, people look at that and go, oh, it's the referee's fault. You need to look at your own players. Your finishing was so poor. So poor. If you just finished your chances, which you should have done, you wouldn't be speaking about the referee. The facts is, Rice dived in on the first tackle. That was a stupid tackle as well, by the way. No one's speaking about that. But, like, what he's doing diving in for that is absolutely ridiculous. He was never getting the ball there. That's a booking. And at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, you know, the guy's trying to take a quick free kick and he kicked the ball away. And that's, you know, that's a yellow. But for me, you know, all these Arsenal fans crying about the referee, have put some responsibility on your own players. Why is your finishing atrocious? You guys should have been 3 or 4-0 up at half time. Easy. Some of the chances, that Odegaard one, where he's like 5 yards out, right in the middle. Like, how's he just kicking it straight to goalkeeper, man? So
he's been media so far.
Yeah, and the last thing, that's part I'd make on this one, is referees are shit for everyone. We all know how bad the referee is. Everyone on this panel has been done by the referee in the last 12 months badly. Yeah. Like, you're blaming the referees because you've not done something right. Yeah. And for me, like, if I was an Arsenal fan, I'd just be looking towards the players and saying, you got to improve the finishing, man.
Yeah.
That's my view, isn't it?
I've got to agree, because I've taken a lot of abuse this weekend, and I know it comes with what we do, right? But I sit there and I think maybe it's me who's deluded then. Maybe the referee dropped us points that game. Maybe the referee made Ødegaard miss.
Well-
Maybe the referee made us miss in front of goal. Because I sit there and I think, I'm getting annoyed with my own fan base because they sit there and they cry about referees or it's VAR, it's this, that, and the third, when really we should have been 2-0 up. Sorry, Did.
Yeah, you should have been 2-0 up. I agree. And I agree with what LB was saying. But I think that sometimes you got to look at, I think it's the inconsistencies that probably rubbed up your fan base the wrong way. I'm not going to lie. I watched the game. I did an op watch. I watched it because I wanted to see what you lot are all about. And I have to say, I wasn't that impressed. But there were a couple of things that I picked up on. There was a moment where Saka, the player at left back or whatever, does his arm in Saka's face. For me, that's a yellow card. He wasn't booked at all. We know what João Pedro did, kicking the ball away, wasn't booked. So for me, I can see why the Arsenal fans were pissed off. I think along with that, there was the stuff about Declan Rice. That's just stupid. It was stupid of him to do what he did in the moment. But it had been a build-up of decisions not really going Arsenal's way, where it could have easily have gone their way. And I think how Saka was being mishandled on that right-hand side was one of the things. But I think the thing that was disappointing for me is that the players allowed themselves to be rattled by the referee's decisions. Sometimes when you're not getting the rub of the green, you just got to crack on and play. But Saka and everybody just kept moaning and moaning and moaning and moaning when really what they needed to do in the moment was just get on with it. It's okay. A couple of decisions hasn't gone your way. Crack on. And for me, the measure of a top team, and people are going to say, how can you speak about this stage? Blah, blah, blah. I think about Liverpool going to 10 men in the same circumstance. Would they draw that game? Would City go into 10 men, having been 1-0 up? Do they draw that game? No, they don't. They see out the win. We saw it last season. In fact, my club did something similar as well. We managed to see out a win with 10 men. So for me, that was what was worrying. You didn't handle the physical battle. The boys didn't keep their heads. They were more worried about moaning at the ref. Saka was the one leading that charge. And then you were unable to see out the lead. 3 worrying signs. And I know it's easy to nitpick in the moment, but for me, that was what was disappointing. Because for me, we're expecting Arsenal with all the gusto, with all the bravado of how great this club is and how they're going to be pushing City to the line. Push them then. Get the job done still. And they didn't. And that was what was disappointing.
Listen, it was disappointing. Obviously, the goal we conceded, by the way, how Lewis Dunk can just thread a ball like that through and it goes through. And Gabriel's got to look at himself, in my opinion. Last couple of games, he's not been good. I don't think he was good against Villa, and he certainly had question marks against Brighton. Maybe Calafiori's going to knock on that door. But I honestly don't. I mean, let me just quickly ask you, LB. We finished 2 points behind Man City. Are we going to do that again? Because I think that we're going to finish much more beyond.
I think your transfer window has been a disgrace. Honestly, that's my opinion as a non-Arsenal fan. You know, you finished 2 points behind us. You come so close to winning the league, both 2 years on the bounce. Yeah, and how much money have you spent this summer?
20 million net.
20 million net. You brought in 3 players? One of them, Sterling. Let's be honest, you only got because he was opportunistic. You wasn't going to get it if it didn't happen. Moreno's now injured for a couple of months. Calafiori is might be good like squad depth, but he's not actually going to probably play. I don't think. As a starter,
I haven't really seen anything special from him. I watch.
Yeah. Also, well, by the way, I can't remember which was it. Yeah, it was a game against Brighton, mate. He got lucky because a cross come in towards the end of the game. It was at 1-1, and he just completely left the ball go across him because he didn't think anyone there. There was a guy at the back post. Luckily, whoever the defender was had it covered. But if he didn't have it covered sleeping, that would have been 2-1 game over. So I just think your transfer business has been an absolute disgrace. You should have gone bang in this transfer window and said, right, we're going to give it everything. But this is what I always say. I always feel with Arsenal, you guys don't go fully for it when it comes to a transfer window. And I feel like it's in your DNA a little bit. It goes back to the Luis Suarez days. You know what I mean? You always Spurs. They get to a point where they're actually a good side. Everyone on this panel can accept that Arsenal are actually pretty good. Yeah. I'd say you're probably top 5, top 6 teams in Europe. But being top 5, top 6 teams in Europe doesn't win you anything because you have to push harder and harder. And I just feel that bringing in Calafiori, Raheem Sterling, who's not been good since 2019, and Moreno, is that for me? I just think that's a mad, underwhelming window for you.
Do you know
guys.
what, LB? I agree with everything you're saying. Oh, sorry, go on, Don, because I know you got to go. Go on, you have to say, go on.
Say, bro, because bro, I'm seeing Potts getting mad abuse because he's not happy with the transfer, like what they've done in the window. It's fair enough for him to have that take, bro, because like LB's saying, right? Man City, sorry, are a different machine. They're a different animal, right? You're bringing in Sterling, who for me last season was just grenade football. Yeah, he's going to be as inconsistent as Martinelli. He'll probably give you better output than Martinelli, but he's not that guy to go and get you over the line to go win a title. You know what I'm trying to say? So far, what I'm seeing is if Arsenal lose Saka for an extended period of time, it's a top 4 battle for them. I'll be honest with you. It is a top 4 battle for these guys because he is the guy that gets them the goals, he gets them the assists. Every single game so far, he's contributed. And yes, it's his job. That's what he needs to be doing. But there's other players in the team that aren't doing enough at the moment. Odegaard, as the captain, isn't doing enough. Declan Rice, in the 8, is not doing enough. Yeah, Martinelli, we already know what he is. Trossard started the other day. People were saying start this guy. But like many people have said, when he starts, he's not that good. He was poor the other day, right? All these concerns, bro. Yeah? What we're going to go back to? Winning games from set pieces. Winning games from moments of brilliance, bro. Is that what we're going to go back to? I saw stats earlier about Arsenal's XG at the minute or something like that. Yeah, they're not even... Bro, Man United right now, right, have created more chances than these guys, apparently, from what I'm seeing. You know what I'm trying to say? It's crazy, bro. They're not in that list. They're not in that list at the moment. They're not in that list at the moment, right? And without Saka, I'm not looking at Arsenal as a serious threat. I'm telling you, right? Saka's not my cup of tea, but I respect what he does in terms of the numbers. He puts up numbers, and without him, they are in serious trouble, bro. Serious trouble.
Don, do you think before you go, do you think Arteta can get more out of Sterling than Poch did?
Boy, listen. I was watching this guy weekly, Potts, man. It's the basics, you know, struggling to take on his man, you know, struggling to control the ball under pressure, you know, struggling to just make a simple pass when he's through on goal instead of shooting, right? Some of the finishing was just bad, you know. I don't.
For me as well, I don't know if Don agrees with this. Do you agree with me, Don, here, that I think Sterling's one of the biggest confidence players I've ever seen, and confidence means you need to be playing week in, week out. Well, is he going to be playing week in, week out at Arsenal? So then how's the confidence going to be?
He might do because Martinelli's dusty.
Unless he can play on that left, yeah. Unless he can play on that left.
Is Trossard not going to be playing there? Or is he getting sold?
The thing about Sterling, yeah, he was actually good off the bench. And I was happy to keep him as a bench player, right? To come off the bench or whatever. But it doesn't make sense to keep someone on the bench on 325k a week, right? But it's just very underwhelming. If Arsenal went and signed, let's say, Nico Williams, I'm like, yo, now I'm awake. Yeah, thinking, shit. They've gone and signed Sterling. Man, you know what I'm saying? I just saw this guy. We've moved on from my man. We've upgraded with Pedro Neto. If you ain't got Neto, that's serious as well, Potts.
That's who I wanted, man. That's who I wanted.
Right? So, end of the day, I don't think these guys have done enough. From what I've seen from Liverpool so far, Liverpool could actually finish ahead of Arsenal. I think they've got more firepower. You know, they're looking a little bit more balanced in midfield. Their defense at the moment, obviously, Arsenal's defense is really good as well. But listen, the defense ain't gonna keep just winning you games. You need to score at the same time as well. So, bro, without Saka, I'm just looking at a team. I'm looking at who's gonna be the one to step up. That's the problem with Arsenal right now, man.
Yeah. Well, listen, man. Listen, Don, I know you got to shoot, my bro, but I appreciate you coming on, man. I really do. And big up to you, man. And I'll speak to you on Wednesday. Make sure you go follow Don, Greasy Don, and Don is CFC on YouTube, man. Big up, Don.
Big up, Potts, man. Listen, Potts works hard, people, man. Let's stop the abuse, please. Let's keep this about football. Nothing's got to be said personal and all of that stuff. Potts loves the club, yeah? Potts grew up seeing Arsenal winning everything, right? And it's a shit show over there. To over 20 years, no major, right? And if Arsenal don't win something again, he's going to be proven right, bro. He doesn't want to be proven right. This is the thing. He wants to be proven wrong. But Arsenal keep proving him right. This is the problem. But please, stop the abuse, people. Please. In a bit, man. Love.
Big up, Don. Love, man. Love.
Can I ask you a question, Potsy? What are these people like? So obviously, first of all, like, what are you actually saying?
One sec, LB. Don, I'm sorry, mate. I didn't see the private chat. Don, love. Always love, man. And big up for you as well. And I'll see you on Wednesday. Deji, sorry, man. Deji.
Yeah, no, big up, Dan. Big up everyone as well. See you guys next week. Thank you so much.
Deji, bro.
Big up,
yeah,
bro.
So like, maybe for like us, because we're not Arsenal fans, right? So we don't know what we don't know what's going on, bro. Yeah. Can you explain to us three, and maybe the non-Arsenal fans in the chat, what it is that you're saying, yeah, that Arsenal fans are cooking you for, and then what their like responses to what you're saying. Because I can't lie, I'm sure like these lads are the same, and the people in the chat who are not Arsenal fans will probably say, we don't know what are you saying that's so outrageous. Can you explain?
I would love to know how to answer that, but let me tell you why they're cooking me and why they think I'm talking rubbish, right? It's not all of them, by the way. There is a section of fan base that agree with me, but it's the minority, it seems. I thought that window was a shambles. I'm being told it was a 7 or an 8 out of 10 by some other section of the fan base. I don't know how it's a 7 or an 8 out of 10. What I will say is I totally agree that Marino could be a good signing. It's unfortunate that he's injured. I think Calafiori is one of the players in world football at the moment is being looked at as one of the next up-and-coming defenders that can play left back and left centre-back. I'm cool with that. Do you know what? I'll go as far as to say this. Although it doesn't really excite me, I'm cool with Sterling replacing and upgrading on Nelson. I haven't really got a problem with that. I just don't think we've done anywhere near enough in the attacking midfield and attacking striker positions to get us across the line. Because if we're relying on Havertz and Trossard and Jesus, who you know is not a number 9 and is injured again, we are now going through another season where we're relying to try and beat Man City on Jesus, who was Man City's player that they didn't want, Sterling, who 3 years ago was Man City's player they didn't want, Zinchenko, Tomiyasu, and Partey have all got to stay fit because otherwise we're short in areas. 3 players that have been injured for God knows how long consistently for the last 3 years. That for me means we're short. We've gone into game week 3 with Salah Dean on the bench, Ethan Nwaneri on the bench, and Lewis Skelly on the bench. These 3 men are warming up. Now I know who they are, but there's people around going, who are these 3 lads warming up? How old are they? A combined age of about 48. Like, real talk, is worrying for me. I don't think we've done anywhere near enough. Now, listen, if we were competing with Liverpool and Manchester United and Chelsea for this title, I'd go, do you know what? I think we'll be all right, boys. Let's just make sure we keep injuries. Nothing mad happens. We'll be fine. We need perfection. People are already, LB, worried that we're going to go into game week 5, 8 points behind Manchester City. Because if we don't beat Spurs and we don't beat you, we lose those games, we're miles off. It's title over. You can't be 8 points behind Manchester City. We were 8 points in front of you 2 seasons ago and we lost the league. So I have concerns over that. The other thing I have concerns about is the board and the ownership who are showing a lack of ambition by finishing 2 points off of the Manchester City champions and going, just spend £20 million net and we'll be all right. We'll get across the line that way. That's a shambles, bro. That's a shambles.
Well, nothing that you've said there, and I don't know if the lads on the panel disagree, nothing that you said there sounds outrageous because I completely agree. You've not shown ambition. Agree. So why are they cooking you then?
I don't know, bro. They think it's a negative, toxic way, and it's just crazy. You can't listen. I agree. People don't always have to agree with me. That's not what this is about. What aren't you agreeing with me for? You're out of order. I don't really even mind the abuse so much because they're just idiots, these people. But I'd love to actually sit them down and go, right, why am I wrong? Tell me I'm wrong. And maybe at the end of the season, when we win the Premier League, I can stand up and go, God, you know what? I didn't see that coming. That was incredible.
Yeah, and you could win the you could win it. I'm not sitting here as well, by the way, saying you're not winning the Premier League. I don't think you will. I think City will win it. But if you did win it, like, I wouldn't be like, oh my God. I just don't think that you've shown enough ambition to win the league. And a club that's finishing second, yeah, that has the revenues that you have, in my opinion, spending £20 million net is absolutely shambolic. When I think you need another creative midfielder. Yeah, I think you need another striker. And, you know, maybe you start to have to have difficult conversations about moving players on that are not living up to the expectations. Martinelli, for example, maybe it's too soon. Maybe that comes next year. But that's the sort of things big clubs do. We've done it with Jesus. We've done it with Sterling. When Jesus and Sterling were sold, some City fans were not happy with that. But you have to get rid of...
At the moment, LB, let me just tell you quickly, we're going into the Tottenham game and the international break. Let's hope no one else gets injured, by the way. But we're going into the Spurs game, North London derby, and the Manchester City game, relying on Jorginho and Partey, praying neither of them get injured, yeah? And we're going into the game up top with Havertz, praying Jesus might be back on the bench. At the moment, the only impact sub we can bring on to change the game is Trossard. Or if he's on the bench and Martinelli starts, then it's Martinelli. So for me, we've got Martinelli or Trossard as the only impact player. Otherwise, you're bringing on Calafiori, Zinchenko, Tomiyasu when he's fit, Jorginho, and Ethan Nwaneri. Do you think that bench is good enough to win a title and come on and change a game? I'm just being serious. If you do, please tell me if it is good enough. If you think that's a good enough bench, then go, Dan, you're talking nonsense. Absolutely crazy. Yes, Sterling, okay, I've forgotten Sterling's now on the bench as well now. But last week he wasn't. So last game he wasn't. So I'm looking at that bench worried. And we've got against Brighton, and okay, fair enough, we had to change defensively because we went down to 10 men, which is probably good just as well because we had nothing off the bench at the top, to be fair. So, look, Jesus and Sterling coming off on the bench, maybe that's a good thing. We need them fit. But they're never fit, man. I mean, Sterling, fair play, but we got Jesus out all the time. The guy's made of biscuits, man. Honestly, he's always injured. Like, for me, we've got to start moving on from these players, in my opinion. So that was why I was frustrated. That was why I'm annoyed.
Potts, I completely agree with everything that you've said, and I think another thing that you need to look at as well is look at the players that have gone out. You've Smith Rowe, Vieira, Eddie Nketiah, Reece Nelson. Who have you replaced them with? Sterling.
Sterling, that's it.
What one player you've replaced? You've let 4 people go with one player coming in who plays on the side of a position that you've already got with Martinelli and Trossard. I think I can't understand what Arsenal fans are I don't understand how they can disagree with you because all right, they're not ideal players. I've said for years that I think Nketiah is a Crystal Palace player. Turns out he actually is a Crystal Palace player. But these players, although they're not ideal replacements and ideal people to come in off the bench and that, but at least they're there if you need them. You've got Smith Rowe, who I rate so highly. If Odegaard gets injured, who have you got?
That's what I said, Billy. And you know what as well, Billy? When you say this, they try and cook you in the chat. They say, we don't need this. I've been saying you need a Saka replacement for years. And I get told all the time from Arsenal fans, no, we don't. No, we're fine. It's like, I don't know what's wrong with some of these. I know it's not all of them, but like, I don't know what it is, man.
I saw a tweet the other day, and I don't know who it was from, but they said Arsenal are 3 injuries away from an 8th place finish. And it's hard to disagree. If Saka, Odegaard, and Saliba get an injury, that's it. Season over.
It's hard to disagree.
And exactly, and you would struggle, really struggle, in my opinion, with those 3 out. You'd really struggle to get Champions League or even Europa League. Because you just don't have the players. You just don't have the players to come in.
This is beautiful. This is beautiful. Honestly, I've got you wrong, my guy. I've got you so wrong.
Dan's been on a journey.
Yeah, Dan has been
I'm spent. Honestly, I thought yesterday was. Oh my god!
I've got to say, like, I don't want to close now because we've got to go with City and Villa, and I wanted to leave you two to last because I didn't feel there was much to say other than Haaland's ridiculous. I honestly believe when he ends his career, he will go down as the greatest goal scorer ever. And people might get confused and think that's a striker ever. I don't think as a footballer he's better than R9 and Thierry Henry, but certainly as a goal scorer, you got to put him up there with one of the best I've ever seen. The guy is ridiculous, man. The chances we got against Brighton, if we had Haaland, we win the game comfortably. We're 3-4 up. But unfortunately, we don't have a Haaland and Manchester City do. It's like a cheat code, LB. Real talk.
It's ridiculous.
The guy is unreal, man. Like I look at it and I just think, it's crazy. And you know, I think it was Don who said at a thing with us saying, it was on This Is London. He said, Saka don't do much apart from goals and assists. And then it was like, Haaland don't do much apart from scoring. I'm like, you know what? I'll put both of them in my team then. Because if you're scoring and you're assisting and you're scoring goals, that's what you need to do. And Haaland, for me, he is the only player in the Premier League. Maybe this is a bit harsh on some of the others, but he's the only one I know when going through on goal that is, I will put everything I have and own on him scoring. And I wouldn't do that with many others in the Premier League. And I wouldn't do that many others in Premier League history, mate. I honestly believe this guy is the reason you're going to win. And I look at Manchester City and I hate saying it, man, but you've got Gundogan, you've got Savinho, you're playing unbelievably well. You've started better. Some people are saying that's a bad thing because City never start this quick. They will die off. But you haven't even got Rodri yet. You've hardly played Foden. You ain't got Ake. You ain't got Stones yet. You ain't got Walker yet.
Foden's not played yet, no.
Foden, yeah, that's what I think I said.
How old is Haaland now?
22, is he?
24, I think he is.
Oh, is he? Okay, sorry. So
at least he's older than me.
Mate, it is scary. I mean,
How old are you,
23.
Fucking hell.
I think
how many was your paper round?
You've got to be
23.
Just
you've got to be confident, LB, surely, man, going into this year now, man. Jesus.
No, of course I am, but you know, I know that my team is mint, yeah. because my team is mint. But that's not necessarily the reason I think we're going to win the league. The reason I think we're going to win the league is because you and Liverpool haven't done enough in the transfer window. Like, I genuinely think part of the reason my club only spent £25 million this summer is because they look at you two and just go, they ain't serious. Maybe if you guys would have been out there, maybe we would have gone for Bruno and spent 100 million quid on Bruno. But I don't think they probably felt that they didn't need to because you're not doing enough. When it comes to Haaland, I mean, he's on the current projections is he's going to be Alan Shearer's record in 6 seasons' time, which means he'll beat it in just 8 years, being in the Premier League. By the end of this season, he'll likely be in the top 10 Champions League goal scorers of all time.
Hat tricks as well, man. Hat tricks.
Yeah, by the end of next season, he'll likely be third highest Champions League or fourth highest Champions League goal scorer of all time. He's the only goal scorer in the top 50 Champions League goal scorers of all time to have a goal per game ratio of over a goal a game. That includes Ronaldo, Messi, Lewandowski, Benzema, all the greats. And the people say he just done it at City. No, he didn't. He had the same records at Dortmund. He had the same record at Salzburg. This guy is an elite level goal scorer. He's one of the greatest goal scorers we've ever seen. And the question is, will he get better? I think he probably will, because his weakness is his heading. That's his weakness. He's still probably better than most people at heading a ball, but that is his weakness.
He's 6'4", isn't he? So
yeah,
he can get away with it.
But yeah, I mean, it's crazy. He's going to be Aguero's record at City. I think he's 100 and he's 200 goals behind. No, he's less than that. 170 goals behind Aguero to be City's all-time top goal scorer. He'll probably get that in about 4 or 5 years. It's just insane numbers. And yeah, he'll probably, if he stays in Europe, he'll probably overtake Ronaldo on Champions League goals.
That's ridiculous.
So, so this is, when you say that and you put it out there, and by the way, anyone can check this. This is all just on that Wikipedia transfer market data. It's all available to be checked. When you say all this, that's why I laugh when people talk about, oh, he's not very good at like linking up the play or some shit like that. Because I'm like, that's not his game, man. He's an old school striker. That's what it is. Mm. He's an old school. We don't really have these type of strikers anymore because everyone wants this drop deep striker. Everyone wants this link up play striker. If you would have played Haaland 20 years ago, everyone would have loved him. Oh my God, amazing. Nowadays, everyone's like, can't do the link up, can't do it. It's just like, because the times have changed, man. But listen, everyone else can keep moaning about that. Meanwhile, he's going hat trick after hat trick. It's insane. And his hat trick stats, they are absolutely ridiculous as well.
Give you nightmares, LB.
Aguero, I think Aguero, how long was he at Man City? About 8 years. And he's like, this guy's done it in 2. It's just
check this up, bro. Let me pull this up on screen. Yeah, I'll whack this up on screen, Potsy. Yeah, go on. Check that out. Yeah, that's his. Look at that, man. You don't think that's?
Oh my God!
Because you look at it, yeah. Aguero's is pretty freaky. He's got 12 in 275 games, which is like that's insane. And Haaland's got 8 in 69. He'll probably get it before 100 games. He'll probably get the.
He'll get it before the end of the season.
Well, quite possible. I mean, he needs 4 to equal it. Yeah, he probably will get it back before the end of the season. Yeah,
he's 4. It's mad.
If he continues at the rate he is this season, he'll have it by Christmas. For God's sake.
We're talking. Look at the 3. Don't look at the 3 ahead of him. Look at the 3 below him. Henry, Kane, and Owen. He's already beaten them. For me, Henry's the GOAT. Kane is ridiculous. I mean, I hate saying it too loud, but he was ridiculous up top. And you got Owen, who people underrate because Rooney come on the scene and everyone thought was better, which fair play probably was. But Owen was ridiculous at Liverpool when he first came on the scene.
Yeah.
And where's Rooney on there as well?
Well, yeah, exactly. Like, let's be real, man. And Fowler, by the way, another one of the best finishers I've ever seen. Like, incredible, man. These are unbelievable names. This guy's taken it in 69 games. Sorry, man, it's a joke. It's just a joke, man.
Well, while he stays at City, it'll be very hard for anyone else to win the league because he'll just kill games. Like that one, like the West Ham game, for example. Right, we played really well, but at the end of the day, up until the 86th minute, it was still 2-1. Now that's Arsenal or that's whoever else. Quite easily, you're a bit nervy, conceding 2-2. You know what I mean? With us, one chance, bang, 3-1, game over. We got the points, and that's what he does. And sometimes people talk about, it's the stat padding goals. Sometimes the stat padding goals are the best goals because they're the ones that kill the games off.
Yeah.
Well, he's just a freak, man.
No, he is, man. Listen, Bill, got to say it to end. Sorry to leave you to last, mate, but sometimes it's quite nice when you're left to last. Means
I've quite enjoyed it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I dream of that, Billy. I dream of that, mate.
And been first every bloody week. Listen, I've got to say, Duran, might have to put Watkins on the bench soon if Duran keeps scoring, Bill.
I mean, if he continues doing what he's doing, it's hard to disagree. But like I said last week, to be fair, I do trust Watkins to get back up and running eventually. He had a couple of good opportunities. I mean, for the first goal, it was he kind of passed it on to Onana, slightly missed it, which he's probably a little bit disappointed at. And obviously had quite a good opportunity that the keeper saved. But look, yeah, Duran's he's mental. I can't believe it. I said on here, and I said in the group chat several times throughout the summer, that I'd have taken that 32 million from West Ham and Lewis Orford or whatever his name is, and I'd have been happy as Larry. But thank God that I'm not in charge of Aston Villa. They clearly they're there for a reason, aren't they? And I mean, he's just turned it around, and yeah, I mean, what a player we've got on our hands.
Billy Onana as well, though, mate. Onana's looking like a fucking beast.
And you know what, Dan? I was just going to get on to the Onana and Duran partnership, because everything through training pictures and after the game and everything, they look really, really close. And Onana is the perfect kind of person that you want Duran to be with and to hang around. He's just comes across as such a good egg, Onana, and on the football pitch as well, he's just dominating it. I'm over the moon with how he's getting on. Already a fan favorite as well. Yeah, he's brilliant. And I mean, with the way that the referee was going, I thought he was going to see red at some point, Onana, but thankfully he managed to rein it in the second half. And we swapped him for Ross Barkley, who was fantastic as well when he came on. So
yeah, I said, by the way, that was a sick signing, because I said, yeah, Aston Villa need to learn from Newcastle, because they got screwed by all their injuries. What they needed to do at Aston Villa this year, for me, wasn't necessarily going and getting all the flashy names, yeah, which fans want. It's about building a squad.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I signed the Ross back 5 mil as well, wasn't it? I thought it was a steal.
Yeah.
Absolute steal.
And
Absolute
he
steal.
came on. He came on
two,
and did so
basically
well.
got two players in each position now, Bill, haven't you?
Yeah.
You have, Duran's come in, but you got Watkins, back up Watkins, Onana. You've still got Kamara, I think. You've still got Buendia and Ross Barkley. You're starting to build, man. Jacob Ramsey. I looked at the bench. I said this. I looked at the bench against when we played you. I looked at our bench and your bench, and I was like, rah. Yeah, there ain't much in there. I think Villa might have a better.
Well, I put Villa in my top 4, man. To a lot of people said, "What the hell?" But I said, "Listen,
I put them 5th because I thought they might just."
Well, they might do. Yeah, you might be right. You might be right. I just think the business is good, and I think Emery's a class manager, and Emery's experiences before this European thing, isn't mad. But Billy, I got to ask you, man, Champions League, bro, you got to be buzzing now, innit?
I'm over the moon. Yeah, I can't. It didn't feel real until you see your name drawn out.
Did you ever get Champions League under O'Neill? Or did you never get...
This is our first time.
First time every time.
In the Champions
League. Was it 6th, Billy? Was it 6th we finished, like 3 seasons in a row?
Yeah, we were favourites for 4th at one point and just dropped off like a rock at the end of the season.
I remember Arsenal and Villa went for it, and I thought they're going to bloody nick this. So he beat us, and I thought they're going to get it. I mean, going back a while now, but you had a sick team like Milner, Ashley Young.
That was a sick team.
And Lahore, wasn't it? And all that. Yeah, remember Petrov? It's a good team that was.
But doesn't it just show what a good manager can do to a club? Yeah. Doesn't that just show
good structure as well?
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah. And that is, look, I give you a lot of stick on the chat, mainly just because you annoy the fuck out of me. You like that little brother. You like that little brother that just annoys me. But you look at the work that they've done in the last 18 months. Yeah. They're a completely different. They're a different club, completely and utterly. When Gerrard left, I remember Gerrard being there, and it was like, Stevie Gerrard. It's the evolution of him as a manager. It went horribly wrong, and the owners they went out there and they dreamed big. They went out there and got a manager who is well versed in Europe, who can build clubs, and more importantly, who players will die for. And you see that, and and this is what, and look, we spoke about my club, so I'm not going to speak about them, but this is what a lot of clubs should be looking at, that model, because it's incredible. It is absolutely incredible. And like my Premier prediction, you know, it was spite, of course it was, but Villa are looking like a decent side, and they're looking like they've picked up exactly from where they left off last season. And LB is bang on. They built the squad, so you didn't have to go out there and spend 100 million on a big name player. You had your fingers burnt out when you brought Coutinho and people like that in. You've gone out there and you've bought workers, and Jesus Christ, I mean, Anana, just wow. The guy looks like he looks like he could be elite. Honestly, Billy, like I've said to you before, and I take this away. You know, I'm not doing this in the spiteful way. You got to do all you can to keep Emery there. You have to, because Emery, my God, has turned that club into something special, unreal.
Yeah,
I think when you look at your squad, right, because I've got it up in front of me, the reason I put you outside the Champions League is I thought, look at what Newcastle happened, but you've actually got a bigger squad than Newcastle. I look at it in front of me. You've got Watkins and Duran. You've got in your attacking options. You've got Buendia. People have forgotten about Morgan Rogers. We haven't spoken about, another absolute baller. Leon Bailey, Philogene, which is a really good signing, by the way, from Hull. Jacob Ramsey, Ross Barkley, Tielemans, McGinn, Kamara, and Onana, all in your midfield. Right back's an issue because you've got the young lad you bought on top of Matty Cash, who I think might be a little bit out of it. But Maatsen and Dean are good left backs. Obviously, you've got centre back. Maybe you're one short. Not sure about Mings and Carlos, but Konza and Pau Torres decent. And then you've got Emi Martinez in goal. That's a good squad, man. That's a good squad.
It is really good. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Yeah,
you reckon you'll qualify in the Champions League, bro? Because I'm looking at your fixtures
for the round of 16.
Yeah,
I think we've certainly got the opportunity to. Yeah, with the teams. I mean, we've got the big ones, Bayern Munich and Juventus. We've got them at home.
Not the same clubs, though, Billy. They're not the same.
They're not the same clubs, and we've got them at home as well, which is a huge advantage. If you're going away to them sort of clubs, it's obviously a massive challenge. But we've got them at home. We've got some really good away fixtures as well. And so, I think we can.
Going to go to any of the away games?
Yeah, I've booked up for 3 of them. It's just the first Young Boys one that I need to see if I can get to with work. But for the 3, I've booked flights for all of the 7 other games.
Perfect job you're in, mate.
Fine.
Perfect job for this.
I know,
you got the best job in the world for this, didn't you?
You have, bro. I might have to ring you up, see if you can get me out to Girona.
I'll see what I can do.
Legend. But no, listen, I real talk, I think Villa, it'd be good to see. I know we all have banter on here, but it'd be good to see the English clubs like all getting towards that. I do think, apart from Man City, I do think that it'd be good to see. But no, listen, I do look at that. I don't know about you guys. I thought that Champions League format was bizarre to start with. I had no clue what was going on.
I think it's better. I like it.
I do as well,
like
to be honest, LB.
I like it.
I think at the beginning everyone was a little bit like, what's going on? But as soon as you understood it and you got into it and it started to make sense.
I won't see it for another 6 or 7 years, but I liked it. It was really nice to watch.
Have they not done the same thing though in the Conference League or whatever?
Yeah, but I mean Champions League, LB, I couldn't give a fuck about them.
No, it is better because you don't want to play the same team twice in the group stage.
No,
I think this is well better personally.
It's
Mate,
an additional couple of games, but
that's Villa's next games. They're very winnable, some of them, man.
They're all winnable.
Young Boys, Wolves, Ipswich, Bayern. Okay, fair play. Man United. Well, at the moment, don't know what you're going to get with them. Fulham, Bologna, Bournemouth. I mean, that is honestly, man, that's a very good run.
The thing is, as well, though, they don't need to beat Bayern because this is the thing. Because there's now 8 games. You don't need to beat Bayern. When you go to Atalanta before the City game, Potsy, you don't need to beat. If I was Arteta, I'd just fucking throw that game. You know what I mean? Because you've got 7 other matches.
Yeah.
So, why would you go all out against that Atlanta?
Yeah, we'll have to rotate
2 days before the City game and try to get 3 points when there's 7 other games available. I'd just rotate it.
Bro, we've got Spurs away, Atlanta away, City away. All 3 away games. Man City got all 3 of theirs at home. Then when they do it again to us, we've got Newcastle away, Inter Milan away, and Chelsea away. in like the April or like the event. And I'm like, thank you for this. Like, you've really sorted us out there. That's beautiful. So that's gonna be hard, man. It's gonna be really hard. There's the two areas of the season I'm thinking, like, we're straight away, we're like, blimey, look at them Villa fixtures there. I was like, Christ, I can only dream of that. We've had a horrible start, man. We really have. And the Brighton one was the one I thought we might have won. So already dropped points. It's not good, man. But listen, got a couple of super chats to do before we do close, boys. This one comes in from Max. Says Caicedo isn't underrated. It's just 100 million. So obviously coming to Don. I still can't believe Don thinks Lavia is better than Rice, but you know, he is where he is, Don. I saw Lavia go to the Emirates and boss a midfield. I do remember it, man. I was there at Southampton. It was the 3-3 draw. We threw our title away. People clearly don't know how good Lavia is. No, that's not what it is, man. Lavia is an absolute baller. I think he's a quality player, and I said he's one of the better players when fit. But I ain't having him over Rice.
It's fitness that's going to destroy him, mate. He's got. We need to see him do 2 seasons in a row, like go through it, and I don't think we see that with him.
No, we haven't yet. Chombies, thank you for this one, bro. Says Rice all day, every day. Don, what are you smoking? Hype up dysfunctional CFC midfielders like they're lighting up the league. Your midfield is as good as United. Look, needs to stay fit. I mean, actually, what that was maybe quite laugh was that Don skipped past Enzo again, but there we go. Listen, big up to all of you for coming on. Big up to Errol, Deji, and of course Don. Please make sure you do me a favor, people, and hit a like on this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Please make sure you go follow all of these guys as well. It's LB, AV Billy, and United First with Dan. And then if you've got Deji, Don, and of course Errol to follow as well, please make sure you're doing that. Brilliant. I'll see you tomorrow. Got the show tomorrow, Arsenal Roundabout. We're going to be talking all things Arsenal. Also got morning show. And then Wednesday, this is London and back. And then I'm away on holiday for a week. Oh, cannot wait. So there won't be as much content in the evenings, but I will see you guys very, very soon. International break. We'll be back now. So, yeah, we'll be back with the panels after that. Take it easy, people. We'll see you next time. We're out of here.